I might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I pray I can be someone's shot of holy water. I'm gonna try and condense my testimony into one video. Well, one of my testimonies. Let y'all know where I come from. I'm from Polk County, Florida, land of Grady Judd. Yeah. And 10 years old, started smoking cigarettes. By 14, I'd tried meth. By 16, I was on it heavy. And I've been to prison 2 times before 2018. Once for running from a rehab. I got snitched on by my best friend's brother. They sent the police after me. And then the next time was I broke a girl's heart and actually got arrested on some bogus charges and ended up having to cop to a gun charge and did 3 years mandatory, and all I did was smoke K2 the whole time. I got out from that in 2017. November of 2018, I thought I done hit something. Because my buddy, I went with him to Okeechobee to go pick up 3 keys. He threw me my first elbow, first pound, and I took off like a rocket. But within 2 weeks, I think I don't even remember, but within about 2 weeks, buddy got pulled over while he was driving. I had a quarter pound on me. I had a pistol. I had a quarter in my pocket I was going to give to somebody at the gas station. Well, he found the pistol, and he found a couple bags in my pocket, or he found one bag in my pocket. Then he put me in the cop car. I slipped the cuff. I dumped a quarter pound behind his seat, and I picked up the quarter that I had, and I said, I'm going to get high if I'm going in, so I ate it. Yeah, big mistake. So I get to Polk County Jail. I fell out and bookend after they did my fingerprints. I ended up in the hospital. I remember them telling me to drink this charcoal and refusing, and then I came to and I was in the annex grabbing a mat, had no clue how I got there. My blood pressure was spiking. I went into psychosis. I was hallucinating. I was under my bunk. They found the dope and hit me with a trafficking charge, so they moved me down to max. And I lost my mind in there. I know what it's like to lose your absolute mind and slowly gain it back. I took about a month of hell of realizing every day that I was in prison, or I was in jail, and I was fixing to go to prison for the rest of my life, because I planned on taking myself out, because I knew I was going to get 15 years or more, and I was not going to do it. Eventually, my mom bonded me out, and I met a girl at my buddy's house who was a dope boy, and I got her high for her first time and didn't know it. It wasn't her first time, but her first time in years. I mean, why else would you be at my buddy's house? But anyway, we hooked up. She moved in with me and my mom at her house because she was living in her car. And she was losing it. She was paranoid, schizophrenic, whatever you want to call it. She's really close to the veil. And at one point, she thought she was saving me, so she ate all her pills and tried to take herself out. Well, that didn't work. And I had given up hustling and selling dope for her because she was so paranoid, but I never took the dope out of it. So after she tried to take herself out and after we broke up, I ended up losing my faith because she had kind of got me back on thinking about Jesus again. And I lost my faith, and I said, you know what, I'm going back to work for the devil. I got one customer left in Daytona, and he's good for two ounces every time. So I called him up, and I fronted 2 from my buddy, and someone came by the house, and he was falling asleep, and he had this girl with him. He was in a rental truck, and I was like, bro, I never drive because I didn't have a license, but I was scared he's going to fall asleep behind the wheel, so I asked him if he wanted me to drive. We went out, seen my homeboy. I gave him what money I had, and then we went to go drop a generator off at this dude's mom's house, and he was wanted for conspiracy out of Polk County, and we were in Osceola County now. Well, when we pulled into the trailer park, the police was waiting for this truck to pull in because apparently they'd never turned this rental back in, and it was reported as a stolen truck. And I'm driving it. So I get pulled out of the car. I got 2 ounces on me at this point, and they throw me in the back of the squad car, and I start sweating. I'm like, I got to get this stuff off of me. How am I going to do it? And I faked an overdose. I went to flopping on them on the ground. They gave me sternum rubs on my chest. I mean, it sucked. They put my handcuffs in front and carted me off to the hospital. And as soon as I got to the hospital, they took the scissors and they cut my clothes off, and there was a Crown Royal bag with 2 ounces in it. I heard the detective say, we got him for 15 years. I spent 4 days there. They were trying to figure out what I overdosed on. I ended up going to Osceola County Jail, and I went suicide watch right off rip as soon as I got there. I had a catheter in. I asked them to take the catheter out. I ripped the catheter out. I didn't know that it had an air bubble in it, and yeah, I'd never do that again. So they put me in the rubber room, and I cussed God for it, and I ended up in another dorm with my buddy Nick, and he was a good dude, man. But I seen a demon in somebody, and it scared me. It scared me back into, I'm sorry, Jesus, and on that bunk above him is where I gave my life back to Jesus. Got put to trustee, got caught for stealing patties, got thrown in the box for 10 days with me and my codependents because the 2 black guys thought we weren't going to feed them because they thought we were racist, but we had enough for the whole kitchen. Yeah, go figure. So my lawyer comes to, he says, I can't do nothing for you because they caught you with this. And I told him, Polk offered me 5 years in and 3 years probation. You get me under 5 and I'll sign it right now. He said, all right. And then when I was in the box and my court date came, he said, I've been on your case 4 days. I got them to drop the trafficking, and I'm shooting for time served when you get out. And I was dumbfounded. But God. Because when I got to court, I asked him how it happened. He says, you know what it was, and I know what it was, but whoever tested it wrong. Only explanation I ever got. And then that night, I got released with a trash bag and a pair of shorts and a Bible under my arm. And at that same point, the girl that tried to off herself said she was pregnant and thought it was my kid. Now, nobody knew I was going to court this day. God set it up amazingly. And since I thought it was my kid, I had my parents give her a place to live, even though I knew I wasn't coming home. And I respect her so much because as soon as she walked in the back door when I was home, because nobody knew I was coming, she gave me a hug and she said, I got to tell you something, because she went for an ultrasound. She says, I'm not as far along as I thought I was, and the kid's not yours. Now, I threw my life in the trash because of a kid that wasn't mine, my oldest. When I found out he wasn't mine, I didn't find out till he's 5. And I got hooked on the dope, and I dove straight into it to get rid of that pain. And it's just an excuse. It was a stupid decision. So, yeah, I ruined my life over that. And I told her, I said, I don't care. I don't care. It's okay. And I got a month to hang out before I ended up having to sign a deal for 4 years and 3 years mandatory. And the day I turned myself in on 8/23/2019, I ate my last piece of dope, and I went in there and I chased Jesus for 3.5 years. I quit cussing and everything. I'm trying to get myself back to where I was when I was on that journey. But of course, as soon as I got out, I got lost in the world. I slipped, I stumbled, I fell. I tried to take my life into my own hands, and God took everything away from me, except for Jesus. So that's where I'm at right now. I've lost everything. But it's okay because I got Jesus. And He's going to fix all this damage I've done in my life. I promise you that. And if you stayed here for this long, just know that I love you and Jesus loves you too. If He can save a wretch like me, He can save anybody. God bless now. Jesus is King.